Today I'm going to show you a customized garage door opener that is no drilling and no battery. Easy to install, something you can do at home. Roll the intro. Welcome to Stickbagger's YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be showing you something very cool, something we just got a couple of days ago. We're actually going to be installing it on the Road Glide and the Street Glide, and that is a garage door opener from Rogers Unlimited. Now for the past 6 years I had an old uninsulated garage door on here that I kind of insulated on my own. I just had a new garage door put on with a garage door opener, so I know that's not new technology, but super cool for me because for the last 6 years we've been pulling up to the shop. The wife gets off the back of the bike, goes and opens the garage door, I roll in, she shuts the garage doors. So I actually spent a little extra money and got a garage door opener. So I started doing a little bit of shopping online and I found Rogers Unlimited. That's the company, this is the brand that we're gonna be installing today. And another super cool thing about that is he is a veteran. So veteran owned and operated company. So super cool to be able to help a fellow veteran and his small business. I ran across several different garage door openers online and even some ones that you could do at home where you could take your garage door opener and open it and solder wires to it and drill in your dash and put a button and all that stuff, and it's just not what I wanted. We've got fully customized Street Glide and Road Glide and I just didn't want anything like that on the bike. Started reading about this garage door opener and realized real quick that there's no cutting into wires and splicing into wires. You don't have to tap into anything. You're not using anything that has a battery in it, so when the battery goes dead, you gotta take the outer fairing off and change the battery. Completely plug and play. The power runs strictly off of the bike, and you don't have to drill anything, so you don't have to do any soldering and homemade garage door openers and drilling holes. So right here on the side of the Road Glide and on the right side on your Street Glide, you've got this auxiliary port right here with this stupid flappy plastic thing that never stays closed. So that's where this garage door opener actually goes. On the back side of that, there's a power plug, and that power plugs straight into this new garage door opener. We're gonna remove this, screw the garage door opener button in. You've got a nice bezel on the outside here. You can get that in chrome or black. And then what's also cool about this one, has a little halo ring on the button. And you can get that little halo ring in several different colors as well. So for this bike, we got the black bezel because everything's blacked out on the bike. And the button is actually called yellow, but it's got kind of an orangish tint to it, so I thought that'd go really cool with the Amber Whiskey project. And then for the Street Glide, it's all chromed out, so we got, of course, the chrome bezel, and then we got a white halo ring button, but you can get those in several different colors as well. You jump over on the website and scroll through there, you'll see all of the different options. Now, the Road Glide install and the Street Glide install, it's exactly the same as far as plugging it in and the way that it operates. So let's jump into the box right here and see what we got. Very cool, threw in a wax pad for us. Guy must watch some of my videos and knows how crazy I am about keeping my stuff super clean, so thank you for that. That is going to come in super handy for me. We've got a Road Glide switch, which is what I ordered, the black bezel with the yellow light, and then the Street Glide, which is the chrome bezel with the white light. So it's got them both labeled, and of course a couple of instruction packages here, some Velcro and some zip ties. So you can see right here your Chamberlain garage door remote, got a wire leading off here. This is going to be your bezel and your button, and on this side the complete plug and play, just like I said a while ago. Street Glide when open, same thing. On this side, you've got the chrome bezel and the chrome and white button. You can see right off the bat the difference. The Road Glide one is a little bit shorter than the Street Glide one because this one does have to go in the pod and come around to the back side. You don't have room right underneath the pod like you do on the Road Glide. Like I said, a couple zip ties and some Velcro. So we got the pamphlet for the Chamberlain remote, which is very cool because that's gonna help us sync this to our garage doors. A ton of garage door openers out there, so you wanna make sure that you look this over. I'm sure there's a spot in here, yep, right here, garage door opener brand. You're gonna go down, pick out your brand, and then it's gonna tell you how to sync this. First thing I'm gonna do is remove my windshield. I do have the Zero turn signal strips up here, so I do have to take this outer cover off. Just 2 screws on each side that hold your Zero light or your windshield trim, whatever you have up there. We're gonna move that out of the way, do the same thing on the other side. From there, we just remove the windshield. From there, we just reach in here underneath the vent and we pop this up and we pull it out. Next thing we want to do is unplug our turn signals on both sides. These turn signals are mounted to the outer fairing, which we'll be removing. So the wire comes up the inside of your fairing, comes up here. You'll see a plug like this. You're going to simply push down on the tab and unplug it. We're going to let that wire hang off. Do the same thing on this side. We're going to go up here pop this speaker grill out. We're gonna knife hand in. We're gonna pop on the back of that tab until you can pull it up. You pull the bottom one out and then it just simply slides out just like that. Right here on the side, you'll have your bullet blinkers. You may have bullet blinkers. These are Covington Customs, but they install the exact same way. You've got a bolt right here. It's gonna be a 3/16 Allen. We're gonna remove that on both sides. Right here on the inside of your fairing, you're gonna have little wings on both sides. It's gonna be 2 bolts. We're only going to remove the bottom bolt. It's gonna be a T25. Right here inside your speaker pod area where we took that grill off on the outside edge, right here's a bolt. It's gonna be a T30. You're gonna have that on both sides. The only thing left holding this fairing on are these 2 bolts. So I like to pull these out about 3/4 of the way and then stop. What I do from there is position myself in front of the bike so I can reach around and finish taking these 2 screws out. This actually allows me to be in front of the fairing so the fairing doesn't come crashing off when we take these 2 screws out. So I'm just gonna finish taking these out by hand. I'll come around to this side. Gonna pull that one out, then we're just gonna grab both sides of the fairing and we're going to pull straight out away from the bike. So we're gonna raise the bike up just because I've been building on these bikes for a long time and bending over and my back just hurts because I'm old. So we're gonna raise this back up so we can actually work on this and I can get a better angle on the camera as well. So on the Road Glide, this is how easy this is. It's literally right there. All we have to do is reach in here and unplug this just like that. And we take this back cap here. We're gonna hold this, we're gonna loosen this back cap, which is just like a big nut. We're gonna pull that off and we're gonna pull that out. That's it. We're gonna take that out, set this off to the side. On the back side of this plug, you're just gonna see this little push button right here on the side of this. We're actually gonna push this in and release the button from it. You can see the 4 prongs right there. It can only go one way. You can't really mess this up. Then we're gonna take the button, we're gonna take the nut and the washer off. It's kind of the same thing as the big washer we just took off. Just want to take that silver washer off because on that front side, that's your bezel. We're going to put this in from the front side. We're going to put our washer on the back. Going to put our nut back on. We're going to grab a 3/4 inch deep well socket. We're going to go in here. We're going to start to snug that nut down. So before I plug this in, I want to check the orientation of my prongs on the back. I want to make sure that when I plug this in, my prong is somewhere out here on the outside. It doesn't have to be directly perfect. The outside out here doesn't matter. So I've got it pretty much set where it needs to go. So I'm going to hold the front so it doesn't spin. And I'll take that socket and go ahead and tighten it down. We're just going to be hand snugging this. You don't want to put a bunch of torque on this. It's not going to go anywhere. It's not a moving part. And then we're going to take our plug. We're going to line everything up. Be gentle. Do not force this on. When you push that on, do not force it on. It'll slip right into place. If you've got it backwards, it's not going to go on. All of those prongs are kind of in a circle with one central one, but those prongs that are in a circle are offset. So that, like I said, it'll only go one way. So if it's not going, loosen it, flip it back around and then put it in. So once we have it plugged into the bike, there's only a couple of things left that you need to do, and that's go ahead and plug this into the existing harness that came out of the back of that auxiliary port. It plugs in just like that. Then we have that Velcro that was in the box, and we can stick this on here and then find a place to position this in here. I got a couple of little goofy fins here built into my glove box pod, so that's gonna kind of stop us from going like that. So just looking around, maybe up like this. Not quite sure. We'll figure that out in just a second. I don't want to stick it just yet because we still have to program this. So let's get over there and do that. So there's the back of my garage door opener. It's easily accessible to the Learn button, which you can see right there in the yellow. That's going to be our button. So if we look at our instruction manual on that spot where I showed you all the garage door openers there in the beginning. So we're going to look at just the Chamberlains, and we have a few different colored buttons. We've got purple, green, orange, red, and then down here we have a Chamberlain yellow, and it's going to be times to press the remote button 8. So I have to click mine 8 times after we put it in Learn mode. So I'm going to try to climb my big ass up there and hit that button. We're gonna make sure that that orange light stays on next to the yellow button, and that is making sure that we have that in learn mode. Once we have that in learn mode, we're gonna go right here and we're gonna slide this cover off. We're gonna kick the key on. Then the learn button for this is right here on the edge. You're gonna get in there and click that down till that blue light comes on. Once that blue light is displayed, it is in learn mode. And then I have to click this button 8 times. Now, I just heard my garage door click, so I know that it is synced. And then we just simply hit that button again. It takes it out of pair mode. Now it should be paired up. So when I hit this button again, it's going to open my garage door, hopefully. Good deal. So, I'm going to close it. I'm going to go over here to the inside. I'm going to hit my external button, listen for the garage door opener. We're good. Close it. And that's it. Now all we have to do is mount this somewhere, get our wires zip tied up, get our outer fairing back on, and we're done. We'll move over to the Street Glide. So moving on over to the Street Glide outer fairing is a lot easier to get off. You've got 3 windshield screws right here, and then on the inside you've got a screw at the top and a screw at the bottom on both sides, and then unplug the headlight, and then the whole outer fairing comes off. So we'll start with the windshield screws. On the inner fairing, you got a screw right here. It's going to be right below your mirror or whatever you may have in there, and then right down here at the bottom. It's probably hard to see on my camera. We're going to take the top 2 out. Very important to remember where these bolts go. Your long ones go on the top, your short ones go on the bottom. When you take those top 2 out, it's going to loosen the fairing enough to go ahead and pull your windshield out. Now when you do the other side, make sure that you've got your hand on the front of the fairing. Pull that screw out. Make sure that you have something over your fender, because we're gonna lift this straight out just like this. We're gonna let it lay on the fender. We're gonna reach into the inside here. We're gonna disconnect the headlight. And over here, I've got some other lights that go on the side of my headlight, so I need to unplug those. And then your outer fairing is off. Your cigarette lighter auxiliary port is right through there, right through this speaker pod. And don't pay attention to all of this mess, because that's exactly what it is, a hot mess. We've been doing a little bit of experimenting with audio in these pods. So I'm pretty sure, not absolutely positive because I haven't installed it yet, but I'm pretty sure there's a couple of different ways you can approach this. If you've ever taken off one of these speaker pods, 3 hidden bolts down here underneath the radio bracket, and by the time you get those 3 bolts out down there, you will have, I guarantee it, made up about 15 new cuss words. So these things are a pain in the neck to take off. Now, of course, first, I'm gonna try to do this without taking this pod off, because it is such a pain. If you decide that you need to take the pod off, like I said, there's a bolt here, and a bolt here, and then you've got 2 bolts up here on the side of your amp tray that go into the pod, and then you have the 3 really hard bolts down the bottom. They're in here and like that. This auxiliary port is exactly like the one on the Road Glide, where you just turn that back cap off and push the thing out the front. I don't think that that's going to be an issue. I don't think getting this out's going to be an issue. Just a pair of needle nose pliers and get in here and turn this, and that cap's going to come off. What may be the issue from there is getting the new one back on. If you decide to take the pod off, I literally have an entire video just dedicated to taking these pods out, and I'll put a link in the description down below so you can check that out. So I'm gonna bring it over to the other side so you can see a little bit better. But I'm gonna take these needle nose pliers and get in here, and I'm gonna unplug that. That's very simple. And then I'm gonna take these needle nose pliers and go around that outside casing in there. I'm gonna loosen this, and this cap should come off pretty easy. This back cap acts like a big nut. There you go, there's that. Just like that. So we have the old one out. That one's pretty easy. Now it's just gonna be getting the new one in. So from here, I think the hardest part is gonna be is getting that washer on there and keeping it on there, and then getting your nut started, and then getting your 3/4 inch deep well socket on there and getting it tightened down. But I think if we get that, we're gonna be gold. I don't think we're gonna have to remove this pod. So I think what I'm gonna do first is try to get my washer in there and actually just hook it on the screw threads and then hope that it stays. Okay, we got that on there, that stayed. I'm gonna take the thin nut that goes on the back and place that right on the end of my needle nose, holding the back. I'm gonna try and get this started. I've got it set on there, so I'm gonna take an extension and my 3/4 inch. I'll try to turn that on. I think we're on there. We're definitely on there, and we definitely got it tight without taking that pod off. We definitely got it tight without taking that pod off. So cool. All we got to do now is look in there, kind of see which way this is orientated. So just getting that washer in there, letting that washer set on the threads and hoping it doesn't fall. If your washer falls, there's a little platform there that's gonna catch it, so it's not gonna fall all the way through and you're gonna have to take the pod off, but it is right there. But I just basically put the washer on and I let it set on the thread and then gently took the nut and got it in there. So it's a very thin nut and it's gonna be easy to cross thread that. So just make sure that you take your time and spin it until it catches. When it catches, get your 3/4 inch socket on there, your deep well socket, and run that down. That's pretty much all I did. You kind of just saw that in real time. So I'm really glad that you don't have to take the pod off. So luckily, I've been a little bit nervous about doing that, but it actually went really smooth. So let's get everything wired up and get it synced to the garage door opener, and let's see what it looks like. May have to make sure that our pins and our holes are orientated the correct way. Get that on, listen for the click to make sure that it's in there correctly. Same thing on the other one. So from there, same thing on the other one. We're gonna take this, we're gonna plug it in. Just like that. You got a good solid connection there. But for now, before we stick it, we're gonna have to be able to access this front panel just like on the Road Glide. We're gonna take that off, we're gonna hold that down, climb my big butt back up that ladder, hit that button. We know it's 8 clicks on mine because I have a yellow button. Click it 8 times, we're gonna sync it up. All right, so we've pushed the learn button on the garage door opener. We're gonna hold that sync button down till that blue light comes on. And in between clicks, I forgot to mention this a while ago, but in between clicks, you have to wait for that light to stop blinking. And we know we have to do 8 clicks for my garage doors. All right, it's gonna make the faintest little click inside that. That's what you have to listen for. I hit it 8 times and I heard a very faint click inside that, letting me know that it's linked up. So let's hit the button. We're good. Let's go in here and hit the button. So that's pretty much it. Super easy install on the Road Glide, and an actually even easier install on the Street Glide than what I thought it was going to be. So like I said, you kind of saw that in real time. I've never installed one of those before, and really thought I was going to have to remove that pod. Super glad that I didn't have to. We got it in there with just a pair of needle nose pliers and a 3/4 inch deep well socket. And once again, this company is Rogers Unlimited. It's the custom garage door opener, and like I said in the beginning of the video, veteran owned and operated. I know I have a ton of veterans on our YouTube channel. Woman did the Figurati Design swing arm covers. Those Army ones sold like crazy. And it's always awesome for us to be able to support another veteran owned and operated business. I will put the link down in the description over to his website. Make sure that you scroll down and look at all of your different options. I want to touch on real quick, that is a Chamberlain remote that's wired into that, and it isn't always compatible with all garage door openers that are on the market. There is a ton of them out there. So for any reason that you cannot get your unit to sync, send him a message and he'll work with you, no problem. If you have an issue with that, you've got 30 days to return it to him. He'll work with you on that. Like I said, just make sure that you don't tamper with anything on the remote. Don't go cutting the heat shrink off and trying to fix it yourself. If it doesn't work, leave it alone, contact him, and he will work with you. If you have any questions on this, leave it in the comment section down below, and I'll try to help you the best that I can. I'm gonna get out of here and get myself back to work. I hope to see you in the next video, but until then, take care of yourself, be safe, and keep your knees in the breeze. Thanks for checking out the video. Don't forget to hit that like and that subscribe popping up over here. And don't forget to check out the rest of the channel, because we have a ton of bagger related and soft tail videos on our channel. And to get you started, maybe you can check out this one or this one. I'm not really gonna say anything else. You can just click one of those and take you over to another video.